Hello, my name is Bryce Cook, and I'm going to present my decision-making guide, and this is on an individual's rights. So, I work at an intermediate care facility for the intellectually disabled, and we had a 15-year-old male with autism who lived in this residential facility. He has a history of severe aggressive behavior and takes multiple medications to support some of this behavior, as well as any behavior support programming that we do. In our facility, he has the right to visit with his family as often as he likes, as this promotes natural supports and quality of life. It's things that are written into even our regulations, the natural support piece. So things to note is that it's important for the boy to visit with his family and go home for visits. He asks to do so often. And it's also important to note that his family is Sudanese, so they have some different cultural beliefs around medications that can turn into an issue, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So when he visits his family for the weekend, his parents tend to not administer his medications as ordered. Sometimes they don't give any, sometimes they give different amounts. And what we've noticed is that upon return, his severe aggressive behavior to the is exacerbated because of the changes in the medications or not giving the medications. So typically, upon return to the facilities, very aggressive. So we've also noticed some withdrawal-like symptoms when he returns, some shaking. We've even had to reach out to the physician and make sure he was okay, probably due to the fact that he hasn't taken his medications for 3 or 4 days. So due to this issue, the boys' team wanted the behavioral experts to restrict his right to visit his family. So some of the things that bring up an ethical issue for me is promoting people's legal rights and prerogatives, especially the right to visit with whoever he chooses. And I think this kind of ties into Code 2.05. Teammates at the facility would like to forgo his rights to address the problem behavior and the behavior of his parents. Another ethical issue I see is VACB Code 4.08, which is talking about using reinforcement procedures instead of punishment procedures. We haven't really done any reinforcement procedures to help his parents or to help with his behavior when he returns. There was a mindset at the time that the boy should not go home due to his behavior upon returning. So they were essentially wanted to punish his severe aggressive behavior and reduce that through a punishment technique. Some internal things that I thought of while I was in this scenario was the want to promote positive interventions and promote the science of ABA, but also there were concerns from us about his health, not getting his medications and what that could do to him if it was an extended family visit. So we had two solutions, essentially. The first would be the individual continues to visit home, but we provide training and support and education with his family. This would uphold Code 2.05 and also probably promote Code 4.08. So you're talking the legal rights and reinforcement procedures. The other solution is to actually restrict his right to visit his family. The facility would decide that the individual's behavior upon return was too severe to risk continued home visits. And if they were really concerned with his health and the effects of inaccurate medication administration, this could play into that decision. And what we would end up doing is stop facilitating the home visits and stop calling to see when this person could go home. Some of the pros and cons of the continued visits and training, well, we'd be in compliance with Code 2.05 and 4.08. The individual continues the home visits, which he does enjoy, and this promotes better quality of life and natural supports for him. The parents would receive education and support. They'd also be able to see their loved ones, and they would also probably think positively of ABA services. Some of the cons is there would be a chance for continued medication administration errors. Even with training, there's always the risk that the training isn't effective right away or over the long term, and there could be errors. There's still potential, however, it could be reduced for severe aggressive behavior due to the medication administration errors. With the training, hopefully that would help, but it can never be 100% sure. And there'd be probably a reduced potential for medication withdrawal. Some of the, on the other side of restricting his home visits, the pros would be decreased behavioral events following the visit because there wouldn't be any home visits. And we would be able to assure accurate medication administration. Some of the cons would be failure to promote the science of ABA. There would be potential increased behavioral events due to no home visits. So this person likes them, he asked for them. There could be potential behavioral events because he's not going home now. There'd be a decreased quality of life for the person, and the relationship with the family might be harmed, the family and the facility. So the decision that we made, we decided to go the route of education and support. We sent different type of medication dispensers with alarm clocks on them. We educated them on the importance of the medications and the risks of not giving them. It provided us with adherence to the BACB codes. It promoted dignity and respect and quality of life for the individual served. And it promoted the science of ABA as a positive science rather than a science based on punishment procedures or the restriction of rights. And for me, one of the most important elements in this decision was knowing how much the individual enjoys going home to see his family. I don't know if I could live with myself if I knew that I supported a decision where a person couldn't see their family, especially when it was a person that really enjoyed seeing their family. So to me, that was almost one of the biggest things, is we had to find a way to make it work. And so that's what we did, and we continue to work through it. It hasn't been perfect, but we continue to adjust and adapt our education and our support and our training and teaching for the person in service, but also for the family. And that is my presentation. Thank you very much.